Jai Hind everyone, myself Sandeep Yadav, Assistant Professor, CSC Department. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on project financing, which is a part of unit number 4 of the subject PME, that is Project Management and Entrepreneurship, which is being taught to 7th semester and 8th semester BTech students in AKTU. So, these are my contents that I am going to deliver today. First is financial feasibility, second is financial analysis, third is project cost estimation, fourth is capital requirement, next one are the source of funds, and the last is project uncertainty. Let us discuss each of these one by one. The first is project feasibility. Well, as we know, feasibility is the process of identifying the overall investment outlay, determining expected rate of returns, and evaluating the project financially. That is, whether the project is financially viable or not, whether it is lies within our budget or not, whether it is viable to proceed with the project or not. That is a very important thing while proceeding for a project. So, project financial feasibility is crucial for the organization for a variety of reasons. Number one, it influences firm growth in longer term. Second, it affects the risk of firm into consideration. Thirdly, it involves a huge amount of money involved. A wrong decision taken in this will result in a loss of huge amount of sum, and it may incur loss to the organization. Now, a careful analysis of cash inflows and outflows is very essential before applying any capital budgeting techniques. That is, what is cash inflow? Cash inflow is the amount of money that is coming in the organization, and outflow is the amount of money that is going outside the expenditure. Whatever is going outside, whatever we are the expenditure, that is outflow, and whatever is the gain, whatever is coming in the organization, that is the inflow. So, that these are very important terms while discussing the concept of capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is the process of identifying, evaluating, selecting a project that requires a huge amount of funds and generates the long term benefit in future. One very essential thing is that we need to look for the long term. Planning needs to be done for the long term. So, these are the steps in the financial analysis. Number one step is estimation of cost of project. Second is estimation of project cash inflow. Third is estimation of expected rate of returns, and fourth one is application of decision rule. So, first is estimation of cost of project. Now, the first step is estimation of cost of projects. So, there are various components of the term cost of project. That is, it mainly consists of two type of cost. First is fixed investment and working capital. The cost of the project include all the costs incurred before the commissioning of the commercial production or the operation, in case we are dealing with the service projects. Now, what is the working capital of an organization? Well, working capital of an organization can be computed as current asset minus current liability, and it is an indicator of short term financial position of the organization, and it is essential to run the business properly. So, by looking the working capital, we know the financial position of the company for a brief amount of time. Now, second step in the financial analysis, estimation of project cash flows. This estimate involves all the cash flows during the life cycle of the project, from the inception of the project till the completion of project. It includes all the initial investment, cash flows generated during the operation, and at the termination of the project. Cash flow, what is cash flow? First of all, we should know what is cash flow. Cash flow is net amount of cash being transferred into into and out of the business in terms of income and expenditure. So, two things need to be taken care in while we are dealing with cash flow. What whatever is coming inside the organization and whatever is going outside the organization. What income we are having and what expenditure is we are having. So, what should we have? Whether our cash flow should be negative or positive. See, for an organization to be successful, the cash flow should be positive. Positive cash flow means we are having more income than the expenditure. Only then the organization will be successful. So, the cash flow should be positive for any organization in order to have the sound financial stability. The third step is estimation of expected cost of return. For financing a project, there are many sources of funds. After careful evaluation, we design the capital structure for the firm. The expected rate of returns from the project include two components. One is risk-free component, generally weighted average of the capital, but providing the low return, and second is the risk component due to the investments and the high returns. So, return is computed as VF minus VI. This is how we can calculate the expected rate of returns. Return is a very important term and it is computed as final value minus initial value upon final value, right. This is the formula of rate of return, and rate of return is net gain or loss of an investment over a period of time. So, what is expected rate of return from a company? It should be net gain, not loss. But sometimes loss may occur due to the problems regarding finance. Risk component is there, which may also lead to the loss. What is desirable is that the rate of return should be net gain, right, so that the company is able to successfully do the work. Next is application of decision rule. Well, the last stage of financial analysis to apply various tools for checking the feasibility of a project. The capital budgeting techniques are applied to ascertain the profitability and expected rate of return from the projects. What is desired is the profitability and rate of return. So, these are the two things that we need to ensure from the project. Now, first we shall be studying what are the various components of the cost of project and its estimation. Well, the project include all the costs incurred before the commercialization of the projects. It includes all the capital investments and all the recurring expenses. Recurring expenses means which regularly occurs monthly, quarterly, etc. Like employees' salary, like return, like interest that we are paying on the loan. So, these are the recurring interest incurred before the completion of the projects or before the project is being handed over for the operations. So, all these things together comprises the cost of the project. The various component of the cost of project as per the guidelines are as follows. Number one is land and the site development. Well, it includes all the expenses that are incurred on the acquisition of land and making it suitable for the implementation of the projects. So, first of all, in order to have the project, we need to acquire the land. So, there are various issues in that. Number one component is purchase price of the land, where we should know what is the purchase price of the land, how much amount of money we have to pay to purchase the land. it should be within our reach, within our budget, whether we can afford it or not. For example, suppose we want to buy a flight, we want to buy our flat, flat. So, what is the most important thing that we see is, first we decide what is the budget of the buyer. Only then we decide to look for which, whether we want 2 BHK, 3 BHK and 4 BHK or penthouse or whatsoever or plot. So, first parameter is the price. Second is the legal and the registration charges. So, legal charges are there that we do to the lawyers, and the registration charges are the charges which we pay when we purchase the land to the government revenue department. It need to be paid to the revenue department as per the policy, either 7 or 8% of the total purchase price of the land that we need to pay. Then next is leveling of the land. So, leveling of land is generally required so that it becomes smooth for us to carry out the construction. Then we need to laying of internal and approach road. For a big project, we need to have the different lanes or roads within the site. Suppose we are developing a project in 10 acres, so we need to lay out the internal roads and the approach roads, right? Next is boundary wall or financing of the land. This is very important. We need the boundary wall to clearly demarcate our land. So, a boundary wall may be there or the land may be fenced so that there is no clash. The land is totally demarcated. Next, the gates and the site office. So, in order to enter inside the compound, we should have the gate which is maintained by the guards that are doing the duty, and there should be site office for any person who want to visit the site. Then tube well and electrification of the projects. So, in order to have the facility of water and for the project sites also, we need tube well that is approved by the municipal corporation, if approved by the municipal corporation. And if we can get the water from the municipal corporation, then there is no need for tube well. But if the water supply is not there, then we have to have the tube well to fetch the water. And next is electrification of the for the project. For that, we need to apply for the electrification and specifying the what load will be there and submitting the requisite fees to the electrical department of concerned state. In turn, they will provide us the connection for this. And next is any other miscellaneous cost. Next, after this is construction cost. Well, the construction cost include expenses incurred on the construction of the factory or non-factory of all natures, including RCC or PCC. So, what are factory and non-factory? Now, land is been acquired. Next project is the construction. So, construction will be having the two parts. One is factory building, other is non-factory building. So, what are various factory buildings? Are the production shed, boiler, transformer room, generator room, workshop and laboratory. So, these are the core component where the production takes place. Now, non-factory buildings are the warehouse, the stores, the security house, the worker house, the parking, the time office, excise room, administrative block, essential quarters for the worker if at all present. So, the important part is the factory building, but non-factory building is also required. We need warehouse to store the products which we have manufactured. We need stores for the raw material. We need security offices to maintain round the clock security. We need rooms for the worker. We need parking space for the employees of the organization. We need office, administrative office and blocks, and we need a canteen also for workers. If it is there, then it is good. Next important component is the plant and the machinery. This is generally the biggest cost in manufacturing a project. It comprises the overall cost of the imported or indigenous machinery, including laying out its erection and the foundation cost. The following are the component. First is the basic cost of the component, whatever is the basic cost of the component, whether procured from within the country or outside the country Next is the excise and the customs duty and the sale tax. Next component is transshipment, that is the transportation cost from the vendor to the site, and insurance also, insurance cost during the transportation. Since the machineries are quite expensive, so it is a good practice to insure that during transportation. Next, after that, the erection and the foundation cost. So, after the machinery arrives in the site, it will be erected and the foundation will be there. So, for that also you need foundation cost. Next is piping cost. Now, piping cost. So, provision of pipes should be there for the interconnections. Next component is technical know-how, whether generated or transferred. The technology had its own cost. The technical know-how include the basic cost of technology development or purchase, right? Technology need to be procured, then you need to pay for the training of the employees and the royalty paid, if any. Next is utilities. Utilities are the common facilities used for the plant of the same organization. This is different from the plant and machinery, that utilities are used for various plants, whereas for the various plants. Then next is the miscellaneous fixed assets. These are the various costs which are not included in the cost mentioned before, but these are terms of miscellaneous fixed costs. For example, furnitures, fixtures, computer, fax, printer, accessories, weighbridge and vehicles. So, these things are also required. So, these come under the miscellaneous fixed assets. Preliminary expenses, they may include market survey expenses. Preliminary expenses is that before commencing, what expenses we have done. The survey has been there, public issue expenses have been there, and interest during the implementation. Next, pre-operative expenses. Pre-operative expenses means that you need to pay salary, rent in before actually starting the production, because production hasn't started, but we still have the employees that are doing the job. So, we need to pay them. Traveling, we need to pay them. This include the traveling expenses, company formation expenses, commissioning expenses and trial, etc. Next is the contingency. Contingency is the cushion fund kept for some unforeseen or expenditure or unforeseen expenses. See, contingency is basically certain amount is being given monthly for the things that does not come under all the things that we have discussed before. So, certain amount of money may be required. For example, some certain dignitaries come in organization, we need refreshment for them. So, for that we need contingency or some we need to procure something small in a smaller amount, then we have contingency amount for that. Next is marginal money for working capital. See, working capital is generally financed through short term or the finances. Now, working capital estimations. Working capital is actually the operating capital and it should be adequate. A higher working capital means we are not able to utilize the fund properly, and lower capital may hinder smooth operations. So, what is desirable is there should be balance. Neither the overutilization should be there or underutilization should be there, right? It should be the proper utilization. We should not the expenditure should not be too high. Unnecessarily, we should not be utilizing the funds. It must be balanced, that is desirable. So, various determinants of the working capital are raw material inventory, work in progress, finished goods inventory, debtors, and cash. Cash is only for the bills that are of lower amounts. Now, project cash flow. So, cash flow may be the project cash flow differs from the financial cash flows. A project cash flow can be classified into three main types: initial outlay, operating cash flow, and the terminal cash flow. Let us see. This figure shows various types of cash flow: initial, operating cash, and terminal cash. So, initial outlay is the fixed investment plus working capital. Then it is of generally outflow that we need for the expenditure that we spent, and it is generally in zeroth year, means before commencing the production. Now, operating cash flow is EBIT minus tax plus depreciation. So, what is EBIT? Earning before interest and the tax. Whatever we are earning minus tax plus depreciation, and it is generally the earning that we are having, that is generally inflow, and it starts from the first year till the nth year, till the completion of the project. Next is terminal cash flow. Now, it is towards the completion of the project. After the project is complete, then we need the terminal cash flow. It consists of salvage value plus working capital. Salvage value is the value that is calculated by selling the waste products that are of no use. So, resellable items are there, and it is generally inflow, and it is in the nth year. So, this clears the today's lecture, and in next lecture I will be discussing about social entrepreneurship. Jai Hind.